I know you're on a fast right now.
Yes.
For 3 days, right?
Right.
So you're on a 3-day no food fast.
Yeah, so I fast. I do water fast.
Okay.
Nowadays I do 1 day every week,
Okay.
and then every month and a half I will do 3 days. Right now I'm 72 hours. I'm gonna go into tomorrow maybe 80.
Mm-hmm.
If tomorrow feels good, I'll go another day.
Yeah.
It depends how my body feels.
Yeah.
I'm just very aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm feeling really great after 3 days.
Okay. Sorry. What inspired you to start doing that?
Ooh, again, reading, learning about, mindful breathing, learning about what you put in your body, who you become, being an athlete. It was always running my only way to maybe be in shape, but I didn't really thought about the benefits of fasting in your mind. It has obviously a benefit in your body, right? You're giving your insides a break because it takes a lot of energy just to process, especially the bad food that nowadays is around. So you're giving your body a break, so it rests. But at the same time, when you're fasting, your cravings, your mind starts resting as well. Because you don't think about food. You just go about your day and put your mind on other things, and it clears. I feel like your mind is kind of cloudy sometimes because all the food that we eat, especially if you drink, or do drugs or whatever, your headspace not perfect. Because when you do a fast, you just cleanse your system so beautifully that I really recommend it to anyone who hasn't tried it.
Yeah, I do intermittent fasting daily. I used to be on 16/8. I switched to 12. But yeah, I mean, if you go back to our they say, oh, caveman. First of all, caveman didn't eat a lot of meat. They would be hunting for days and probably would not eat. That's where it comes from, that we don't need to eat, because the hunters would be on 2, 3, 4, 8-day hunts. And then when they would kill an animal, they'd bring it back to the village and share it with the whole entire village. So they weren't eating like a 16-ounce T-bone steak every 3 times a day. They probably had a little tiny piece of meat. Most of their diet was vegetables, grains, depending on where they lived, what they could grow, right? So inherently in our bodies, we're not designed to be eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, big heavy meals like snacks all the time. And then another thing you said, I don't know if people realize this, but digesting food takes the most energy out of anything that you do for your body. So if you're eating big meals, heavy meals, drinking, your body is using, like, imagine like a video game, the power bar when it goes down.
Exactly.
You're like down to 10, and you need to use that power for everything, but most of it is just used to digest. And so the fasting, especially when you're older, number one, it burns off the little extra fat that maybe the hardest ones to get. Like you said, I got rid of my addiction to food, because we're addicted to food.
Oh yeah.
Hangry, right? Like I used to get hangry. If I didn't eat, I would be like, I couldn't function. Now sometimes I forget to eat. I'm like, oh shoot, I got to eat before the day ends. You know what I mean? So like you said, yeah, it gets rid of your addiction to food. The 12 hours burns fat. 16 hours, I think, is something like clarity. And then once you go 18 hours, it's like your immune system. 72-hour fast regenerates your entire immune system. So you basically reset your whole entire immune system.
I think it does something in our cells. It heals the cells or something like that.
There's a lot of things. There's so many benefits. There's a really good book, Paul Bragg and her daughter, can't remember her name. It's called The Miracle of Fasting. It's really good. I don't agree with everything on the book. Let me just say that. I don't agree with everything, but because it was written like in the 70s, right? So there's a lot of old information. But it's amazing how that much old information people, knew about the benefits of fasting. I mean, Muslims do it, Catholics do it. There's a lot of benefits of fasting. Just we store crap in our bodies. Then you need to get rid of it. You don't need it. A lot of toxins, and if you don't give your body the break, then it stores, and that's what you become.
Yeah, it also helps me with my sugar addiction.
Yeah, 100%.
That very helpful.
And sugar, and I was mentioning before, right, when we talked, sugar is the only thing that gives me, coffee a little bit. If I drink too much coffee and then I do fasting, I will have headaches.
Yeah.
But normally it's sugar. If I have a lot of sugar that week, then I'll get a headache on fasting.
It's the withdrawals.
It's the withdrawals. And if I don't, then I don't have a headache.
Yeah, people don't realize sugar is a drug. It's more addicting than heroin.
It does the same to your brain like any other drug.
Yeah, and that's why you see little kids, they become like little sugar addicts because you give them all this sugary food and they're just like basically little addicts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That can cause ADHD as well.
Yeah, I mean,
bad sugar.
Yeah, don't even get us started on health because like we'll talk
I know,
It'll be 2
right?
hours.
I feel like that's one of those things I was completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
Reading, it helps you a lot.
Especially coming from, I mean, you can speak for, but we both come from Latino cultures, right?
Right.
My father was a great cook. So every time my father would cook, the whole family would come over, right? And, traditionally it's the women sometimes cooking. My dad was the chef. He used to own a taqueria. Like we used to have 3 types of meat at every meal, like cheese. I mean, it was kind of healthy, but I mean, we would just eat, right? So you come from a culture that's all about food and eating massive amounts of food.
And deep fried.
Yeah, and deep fried, right? There was a comedian that he's like, I had a stroke when I was 12. He's like, we deep fried everything. He's like, mijo, you want the popsicle? Throw it in there. Let me fry it up for you, You want a salad? Throw it in there. I'll fry it up for you, right? But anyway, so we come from this culture of like eating and just eating massive amounts of cheese and fried food and sugar. And then to go to fasting, and then it kind of like wakes you up and realizing like, what was I doing my whole life? Like, oh my God, I've just been an addict, like to food, to whatever. Not just drugs are the only thing you get addicted to, right?
Yeah,
It's like you're on autopilot because if you've been conditioned for so long, even in my culture, Filipino culture, eating rice and meat for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's what I knew growing up. And, eating Lucky Charms for breakfast before school. And then find out that I'm always sleepy in class. I thought there was something wrong with me, but it was the food that I was eating. It's because the lack of education. That's all it was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I myself, if I eat, bad food, when I call bad food, is processed, like Oreos or something like that, a lot at night. The next day is so difficult to get up.
Yeah.
So much more difficult than, when you eat different kind of food, right?
Yeah.
Something healthier.
Like whole foods, basically.
Yeah,
not
I'm all
processed,
about whole foods, organic, mostly vegetables. I do eat meat, protein. But yeah.
Yeah. So what got you into fasting?
I think I knew that I could be healthier, and I started trying a lot of different things. I went vegan for a little bit, vegetarian, see what I like, what I felt right, what it was not easy, but where I felt my best.
Yeah.
And having that entrepreneurial mind, I was like, I want to create all these big things. I need energy.
Yeah.
And I need
100%.
consistent energy. I can't be like lazy in the couch in my bed just because what I'm eating. So I need to be healthy.
No food coma.
So, just started learning different things. And when I talk about things like this, sometimes they're like, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that?
Yeah.
So I started fasting. I did it intermittent fasting. I have tried different ones. And then this is what I found I like the most.
So this works with you the
for my
most.
body and my head.
So you do the long-term fast once a week, and then once a month you do a 3-day fast.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I read somewhere, I don't know if I could do this, but I read somewhere, like, because I'm over 40, right? They say when you're over 40, you should do 16 hours and then every other day 20 hours. Like, literally 20-hour fast. And I'm like, geez, like, I mean, I have no problem fasting, but I have that fear of, like, am I going to be able to get enough calories in within those 4 hours? Because I eat one meal and I get super full and then I can't eat no more, and I work out like 6 days a week. I want to get enough protein, and I'm vegan, by the way. So like I do get like nutrients, but like I need to get all of it. And I just found that I can't get it in with a short amount of time. But fasting is amazing. Like, by the way, don't just go do it. Like, do research, right?
Yes, please
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Know your body,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because like some people will just go and try it, and they might hurt themselves. You
Yeah.
know, like don't go do a 72-hour fast until you're doing some 12-hour fasts.
Yeah,
or whatever,
just start
you know?
with a 12-hour.
Yeah, and it's super easy. Just skip breakfast. You know what I mean? Like, and don't eat super late. Like, if you stop eating at 7, 6, 8 p.m., don't eat till at least 8 a.m., 6, 7 the next day,
Right.
or just skip breakfast altogether and then start with lunch. That's fasting,
Yeah, make sure you drink water.
Yeah, because
Tons of water.
lots of water, yes. So breakfast, break, fast. That's what it means.
That's what it means.
It doesn't mean you have to eat it in the morning. It means you're breaking your fast because you slept all night and you didn't eat. Hopefully, some people probably sleeping in bed and eating in bed, right? But you're just breaking your fast. It doesn't mean it has to be in the morning. It just it's when you break your fast.
Yeah, and one of the things I've learned is, so you're in the period of fasting, but it's so important what you eat before you fast and after you fast.
Exactly.
How you break that fast is as important as you fasted.
100%.
So it's, what you said, read. There's tons of food books
YouTube.
nowadays. YouTube. There's so many ways to learn.
Yeah.
Definitely, and start slow like anything else. I've been doing it for years now, so
Your body's used to it.
I wasn't like this. Like my first 3-day fast, it wasn't like I'm doing right now. Like perfect energy and I feel good.
Yeah.
The first one was challenge.
Yeah. So all the information's out there, and I like what you said. It's very important what you eat before and after, because like before I knew, I was breaking my fast with anything, and that's not a good thing, right? Don't break it with sugar. That's like
Huge
the worst
ice
thing to do.
cream.
Yeah.
Did you have a vegan ice cream?
No, I know. I don't remember what I break, but now I learned. By the way, there's a guy called Thomas DeLauer. He's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really good at fasting. He says if you break your fast with like a protein, like a lean protein, that's really good. If you break your fast with fat, your body will be like, oh, okay, so fat's my source of energy. So it'll burn more fat. If you break it with carbs, it helps you build muscle. That's what he said, right? Again, do your own research. But lately, I've just been breaking it with like a really lean protein. I eat this stuff called seitan, which is made from wheat, right? But it's like vegan meat, basically. It's a little block, 170 calories, has 35 grams of protein in a block. So I eat a little one like that. It kind of gets my system going. Then I'll have like a smoothie because it's like fruits and vegetables. It's not very heavy. And then I could eat whatever the hell I want after that, right? Until it's over. Yeah.
Yeah.